Hi everyone, I'm going to be discussing two things in this vlog. The first is the movie Before Stonewall, and the second would be the essay Death of the Author. The movie was quite graphic, but it was interesting to see the history of queerness in the United States and the events that followed after that. And I think that some things that I found to be speaking to me is the fact that they had to hide so much stuff about them. There was a particular instance where they're saying that the tie matching the handkerchief would be a sign that you belong to the community, and it almost felt like it was an underground community because you weren't allowed to be who you were and you weren't allowed to love whoever you wanted to love. And to some extent, it is still true in Pakistan because Pakistan is a conservative country, and my best friend is gay, and I know that he has a partner, but they cannot live together. They cannot publicly express their love for each other, and they cannot marry each other because it's against the laws of Pakistan. So it's interesting that the film spoke about things that are still happening in Pakistan, and it sort of was a wake-up call that these elder ladies and gentlemen were talking about the sufferings of, for example, being admitted to a mental hospital if you were gay or lesbian. So it was kind of heartbreaking as well. Moving towards the essay, The Death of the Author, I think the three things that I took, I'm going to try and go one by one so it's clearer. I think what the writer is talking about is that the author is supposed to be a mere mediator, and he says author is thought to nourish the book, which is to say he exists before it. When you look at a piece of text, the author becomes a construct where you start criticizing the origin of the author rather than what he has produced. So taking the work for its value has to be before we find out who has written it, so that we do justice to the reading rather than allot instances to the author and his genius. The second thing that I took away from the passage was this quote that says that message from the author God rather than an interpretation of the reader. So a text can be interpreted in different ways by the reader, because the reader can essentially understand a text. Two different readers can understand a piece of text differently, and that depends on their consciousness and their experiences. So when you appropriate a piece of text to the author, then you start criticizing the author more than looking at the value of the text. The third takeaway is that a text's utility lies not in its origin, but it's in its destination. So it shouldn't matter where the text is coming from, that is the author. Rather, it should matter where the text is leading you. So it essentially is saying that the reader is what the interpretation of the text should be about, not if the author has justified his origin inside his text. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think we're supposed to separate the text from the author and the qualities and origin of the author and take it in a way that can be that is not associated to the characteristics of the author. Thank you.